Hi, everyone. We're here to talk about weTHINK.eu's UAV UGV Emerging Threats Working Group and the roundtable discussion that we had on the 8th of December, 2022. And so the following is just a bit of mapping from the roundtable, and I'll start with a summary of the keynote presentations and the challenges that were mentioned there. So I'll just share the screen. Okay. So can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So our keynote presentations were from Dr. Ori Swede and Dr. Stephen Wright. And one of the challenges we brought up was how we can frame our understanding of weaponized UAVs. For example, where they have come from and where they are going. So UAVs are not a breakthrough revolutionary technology, but rather a convergence of already existing technology, such as lithium batteries. And with lithium batteries, the increased incremental battery energy density improvements have led to more mission optimized airframes. The small, low cost, high power microprocessors and sensors that we have led to a reduction in costs that will lead to bigger swarm sizes or fleet sizes. Also, increased onboard functionality through machine learning will lead to more complex autonomous missions like the ability to strike. Brushless motors with associated power electronics and processors have also been part of those converging technologies. So rather than being a major breakthrough, UAVs are emblematic of 21st century technology, which can be visualized as multiple technologies stitched together with a lot of computers.
Another one of the challenges presented was how to think about UAV future evolution in terms of performance, such as current technology offers new kinds of performance and will lead to higher speeds. Another aspect was maneuverability. UAVs have the added value that new propulsion systems can be placed all over the aircraft, not only at the tail, thus making it more maneuverable. Hybrids between UAV and UGV are possible, and such flexibility has blurred the lines between the two categories. Another aspect was scalability. With the existing technology allowing greater scalability, especially towards smaller UAVs. Electric flight was generated a new set of opportunities and problems. The UAV revolution is not displacing conventional technology, but rather is populating niches and creating new ones. Another aspect was the overall, based on the current technology and progress, there will probably be no major technological and scientific change in the near future. And another challenge was the concept of emergent properties and unintended consequences of UAV technology, and what are the major factors in the threat of environment.
So continuing with the idea of threats, the proliferation of drone technology to violent state actors remains a major challenge. Commercially available UAVs are being modified to carry and drop an improvised explosive devices and other weapons such as this. All kinds of VNSAs, from terrorist organization to warlords to organized crime and drug cartels, have been using UAVs to support their operations.
The future of VNSA UAV use had a series of challenges, some of them being the number of VNSAs with UAVs will continue to increase, as will their UAV capabilities. There was also the ease of access, use, and modification make UAVs useful tool for VNSAs. Another challenge was the sophistication of VNSA drone programs has also increased. And also in this category was in some cases through the direct support of state actors, VNSAs have access to larger military-grade drones, including medium altitude and long endurance male UAVs.
From VNSAs, we are also seeing a number of military and security threats. From one point, UAVs are hard to detect and to defend against. Their ability to avoid radar, their unpredictable trajectories, and swarm capabilities make UAVs a formidable challenge for military and security forces. Militants in Syria used a UAV swarm to destroy Russian warplanes on the ground, which altered the dynamic of the war. Elsewhere, extraterritorial attacks were carried out by Houthi rebels based in Yemen, targeting critical infrastructure in Saudi Arabia.
Then we focused on the challenges of domestic threats, more specifically domestic threats that UAV proliferation has developed, largely from VNSA's ability to disrupt local law enforcement, smuggle drugs, target critical infrastructure such as airports and air traffic, and of course VNSAs.
From our discussion, we did some mapping on a number of challenges. Those challenges included the rate of evolving technology. Considering the increases in the cost effectiveness of UAVs, will the rate of proliferation be more than incremental, was one of the questions posed by the group. Threats will continue to increase from the evolution of UAV tech, but also through new ideas for use. Technology will rotate much faster. Rather than the typical 10-year technology cycles of the past, drone technology will be instead moving at 18-month cycles.
Next, we focused on the challenges faced by detecting UAVs, and those that were mentioned were UAVs at all levels have the ability to avoid radar detection through terrain flight and radar notching. Another challenge was UAVs pose challenges for conventional, traditional aerial defense systems because they can move in unpredictable trajectories, fly through dense urban centers, and overwhelm through swarming. Also, aerial defense targeting of UAVs in dense urban areas presents the risk for collateral damage. Another aspect of detecting UAVs was that smaller civilian UAVs are especially challenging to detect. And lastly, that local law enforcement don't have access to the same radar and CUAS technology that militaries have to detect or counter UAVs.
The next challenge the group mentioned was the proliferation of armed UAVs. The proliferation of armed UAVs to both state and non-state actors will likely increase. States such as China, Iran, Turkey, and Russia are exporting armed UAVs abroad, including military-grade, medium-altitude, long-endurance UAVs. Iran is directly supplying military-grade armed UAVs to VNSAs involved in conflicts in Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. DJI's first-person view UAV gives mass data and intelligence to potential attackers. Turkey's SDM Kargu is the first case of an arguably autonomous weapon system, as it used onboard cameras and AI to acquire and fire on human targets in Libya. Underwater drones have also been used by Hamas.
Another set of challenges that were examined were the UAVs that have ability to attack a wide range of critical targets. Namely, UAVs can be used to attack targets such as airports, electric grid, gas pipelines, nuclear facilities, and telecommunication infrastructure. And also UAVs can be used to conduct assassination attempts, as in the targeting and killing of Major General Qasem Soleimani.
When it comes to UAV supply chain, we have also seen challenges posed by the NSAs. For example, the proliferation of armed UAVs, combined with the use of modified commercially available UAVs, has led to uninterrupted supplies for VNSAs. As a result, VNSAs have increased availability and accessibility of armed UAV systems.
Next, we examine the challenges based on the regulation UAVs. The emerging threats posed by VNSA use of UAVs has created issues regarding regulation. For example, manufacturers and distributors need to develop measures such as stricter end-use agreements, geofencing protecting critical objects and conflict zones, closed-source platforms controlling, and also cybersecurity to prevent VNSAs from hacking UAVs. Another challenge in the regulation was the current system highly regulates UAV and CUAs research, making it hard to conduct research and share results and intelligence. Also, the Geneva Conventions type international law regulation UAVs, such as legislation or articles specifically regulating the use of UAVs. Lastly, the national EU legislation on testing, modification, and flying UAVs over restricted areas and objects were some of the challenges and regulations.
When it comes to research needs, Dr. Wright posed the question, when considering war game simulations and constructing UAVs, CUAVs systems, are we having too much fun? Research has also been hindered by stricter regulation, a need or lack of testing facilities, a lack of standardization and testing for CUAS solutions as well. Furthermore, independent standardization and testing bodies enabling buyers to compare CUAS technology, clearing information with vetted buyers is also lacking. There is a need for an online platform for sharing data sets and intelligence between actors in NATO countries. Understanding the threat of UAV swarms remains a growing research priority.
Then we examine the reactive response. Due to a rapid innovation, we have been forced to react to rapid advances in UAV technology and innovations by VNSAs rather than being proactive. CUAS technology is behind the technology counters, and this causes some challenges. Also, the advances in tech and innovation are forcing us to only react and think reactively.
We've also examined the more non-traditional UAV threats. VNSA innovation has created a range of new threats from UAVs that have been designed for racing, surveys, biometric data collection, or by hacking delivery drones.
Our roundtable discussion finished by focusing on UAVs have become more common in daily life, and this is a challenge in itself because people are not paying attention to them. Also, people are more likely to assume that they are being used with permission or that they are doing some kind of inconspicuous work like delivery drones.
So that's the recap of our December 8th roundtable, and we look forward to having your feedback on it. And in the coming months, we'll be asking all of you to share your perspective on how you perceive the emerging threats of the near future involving UAVs, the question of standardization around CUAS, for example, what does success mean? And how can we agree on a universal measurement system? And any other issue or threat or point that you believe would be relevant for the discussion on the platform. And so we invite you all to put together short videos of presentations, interviews, or even writing a short piece to post either to our Discord or to the UAV platform, which will be hosted on weTHINK's unique independent platform in the coming weeks. Thank you, and please let us know if you have any questions.